to Good Morning Football, Thursday Night Football action. We are presented by Audi here on this Thursday, September 27th in Times Square, New York City. My name is Kay Adams. Nate Burleson likes to make a mess. He's here.
Just trying to save carry on, Kay.
Popcorn earlier this week.
Really? Yeah, they're like, Thanos got dudes disappearing in the streets.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Burleson.
Bang on.
Kyle Brandt,
Hey.
Peter Schrager, and Thursday night action between the Rams and the Vikings in L.A. Let us start with Omar Ruiz. I would never shred him.
No.
Ever. Time for the lead block.
He's
All right.
shredded.
Already shredded.
Omar, thank you for joining us bright and early, always with a smile. And why shouldn't you be smiling with this matchup tonight? The Rams will be without a few key pieces to their secondary tonight. What is the latest on the injuries to their cornerbacks?
Well, the Rams have placed Aqib Talib on injured reserve with that ankle injury. He'll have surgery on it. He'll be out at least 8 weeks. And then our Ian Rapoport has reported that Marcus Peters won't play either. Even though he's officially listed as questionable for this game, that calf strain is going to keep him out 2 to 4 weeks. So in will step Sam Shields, the longtime Packer, plenty of experience, a former Pro Bowler, Nickel Roby-Coleman, the Norman nickelback for the Rams. He's excited to play in this spotlight matchup as well as the Rams have played defensively. He wants to see where they're at, looking forward to this challenge, how good this defense could be, how good this secondary can be. And then there's Troy Hill, who told me his whole career has been about staying ready and being thrust into the starting lineup when called upon. Of course, he started down the stretch last season, even started in that playoff game against the Falcons, and he played fairly well against Julio Jones and Mohamed Sadu, so certainly no stranger to playing against big-time opponents in big-time situations. Rams and Vikings in the Thursday night spotlight. The L.A. Coliseum will be in the spotlight in an NFL regular season primetime game for the first time since 1985. We talked a little bit about the Rams and Vikings history a little earlier. This stadium, so much history. You can see John F. Kennedy, a tribute to him here. He accepted the presidential nomination in 1960 here. Of course, this stadium has hosted 2 Olympic Games, 1932 and 1984. It, of course, hosts the 2028 Olympic Games as well. So much NFL history. The first Super Bowl was played here, as was Super Bowl VII when the 72 Miami Dolphins completed their perfect season. The Rams have been perfect so far this year, hoping to stay on that roll here on Thursday Night Football.
And it could be the host of one of the best Thursday night football games, if not the best in history, which we'll see how it pans out just hours from now. Omar, what?
Speaking of perfect, Omar, that was a perfect news hit, man.
Walk and talk.
Omar, that goes on your reel,
Thank
my
you,
man.
fellas.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
walk and
Seriously,
talk,
man,
mastering that
unbelievable.
skill here.
Jesse Owens and
very
Carl
much.
Lewis,
It's always fun to be on with you
I love
guys.
it. Fantastic.
Great stuff, man.
You're the
Informative.
best. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Hours from now, there you have it. 2 NFC powers colliding on Thursday night. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings taking on Jared Goff and the Rams. It's Vikings-Rams when it is on.
It is on like Omar Ruiz.
That's right. Thursday Night Football today at 8 on NFL Network, on Fox, and streaming on Prime Video. Are y'all down for a throwdown?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, and let's start with this game, guys. First up, it is the $84 million man taking on the terrible twosome on the Rams defensive line. Who prevails tonight in round 1 of Throwdown Thursday? We've got Kirk Cousins up against the likes of Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald. Round 1 fight.
Well, you know, we kind of likened this after one of our favorite games, Mortal Kombat. And if you played the game, you understand once they really got into the details of the fight scenes, when a guy would take a serious blow, I mean, a blow that was damaging,
Yeah, sure.
they show the skeletal bone.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be Kirk Cousins. These guys are so vicious. I don't think anybody's ever stood in front of Ndamukong Suh. I played with him. He's an absolute monster. Aaron Donald, an absolute monster. These two guys getting after the quarterback makes things so uncomfortable. And it might not necessarily be the big hit. I'm exaggerating on the violence of the game. But the pressure of him sitting back in that pocket and knowing that things are collapsing faster than falling in quicksand, I feel like it has to go to Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think the Vikings' offensive line is their weak point. That's their Achilles heel. It was coming into the season. It is even more. They get Elflein back, sure. But to me, Donald and Sue are going to be in the face of Kirk Cousins the entire game, and those free edge rushers are going to be coming.
That's right.
It's also Brockers. It's all these guys.
Yep.
The Rams are loaded on defense, too. That's the thing that makes them so interesting. The offense gets all the sizzle and the glamour. The defense is where they're at. They're shutting teams down. I think Donald and Sue have a day. And I'll tell you what, I'm a Kirk Cousins guy. I fear for Kirk Cousins tonight. I think it's going to be a long evening tonight.
Elfline is back, which should help Kirk Cousins. Sue has 1 sack so far this year. Donald looking for his first.
Okay, I'm going to go with Cousins. Nate, you said the pressure of knowing those guys are coming. Keyword being knowing. He knows what time it is. Kirk Cousins is very smart. The game plan to this seems very simple. There's 2 great defensive tackles and 2 banged-up corners. Get it out. Get it quickly. That's huge advantage. Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to have a game. I love Sue and Donald. I think Captain Kirk wins this one.
Cousins already sacked 9 times this season. Next, we're talking triplets, gentlemen, in Minnesota. They've got Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Kyle Rudolph hauling in passes, while Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods coming off such a great game, and the ever-trusty Cooper Kupp racking in the receptions in L.A. Which triplets of triplets? Which triplets? Which pair of triplets? I don't know. Which guys are going to have a better night?
This is the toughest one, I think, out of any Throwdown Thursday. When I heard this morning in the 5 o'clock meeting, I was like, all right, I got to give this some time and some thought. I'm going back and forth. Initially, off of pure thought, I go Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, and Kyle Rudolph because they're such great pass catchers. And I'm big fans of them, and I think there's a little part of me as a Minnesota Vikings, so I want to go for my guys, Skol Vikes. But then I'm like, Nate, you be contradicting yourself, because what makes the Rams wide receivers so special is not only that they're great route runners, not only are they selfless, not only do these guys know the system, not only are they coached by Sean McVay, who is Doogie Howser of football, but they have Todd Gurley that takes so much pressure off of them. So if I'm a wide receiver playing for the Rams, I know there's no way that you're going to take that safety and shade him over the top of me, because you know that this dude in the backfield is going to gas you, which means I'm going to face one-on-one coverage. And if you're the 3rd wide receiver, maybe Woods or Kupp in any given formation, you might be facing a guy that's 3rd tier or 4th tier. And there's no way your confidence level is going to be as high as mine when I know I'm a better route runner than you are a DB. So with all that said, gotta go with the Rams, guys.
Yeah, I'm with Nate on this.
Are you?
What was the term I used earlier? Fly motion play action. The other one is jet sweep. The other one is deep bomb. Brandon Cooks has been unstoppable this season, and there's been defensive pass interference calls against him that are just the same as catches.
Those count,
50 yards, he's had a couple of those. On what was expected to be a really good defense. But Josh Allen had his way with the Vikings defense last week. I think McVay, with some time to draw this up and know that the Vikings beat him last year. Like, there is a vengeance factor to this, too.
Good point.
They also have been on prime time a couple times, and the Rams haven't been what they want the country to see. I think this is the welcome to the Sean McVay era game. I think tonight, those 3 receivers, they're all going to be getting handoffs, they're all going to be getting play actions, they're all going to be going deep. Big night from all 3 of those guys.
I'm going to go the other way again.
His first touchdown. We got to talk about that secondary for the Rams, though, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings because, you know, Talib this and Peters that, I think I have a big game on Xavier Rhodes. I don't know if we've said that guy's name this season. He had an interception in the opener, but then he's healthy and something's improved. I think Diggs and Thielen are going to have the bigger game. Everything's coming up purple for me. I don't know. It's an upset, but I'm into it.
All right. Moving on to the final round. It wouldn't be Throwdown Thursday without some pop culture in the mix. Let's go to the 80s, gentlemen. In one corner, we've got the late, great Minnesota musical legend who told us what happens when doves cry, facing off against the LA rock band who welcomed us all to the jungle. Prince up against Guns N' Roses. I would like to know who you think is the better 80s artist. I mean, one of these artists is like the best of all time. So
Prince, really compelling figure. Really compelling figure.
Go ahead.
His music, to me, is dollar store Michael Jackson. I mean,
what?
Yeah, it is. You heard me. Everybody can say what, no boy, all they want. We're talking. One is the king of pop and one is not.
I will not be a part of this.
What are you talking about?
Michael
Jackson.
Michael Jackson is supreme talent. Don't get me wrong.
And he's superior.
He's the king of pop. Yeah. But Michael Jackson was all part of a machine, too. He also had writers. He had people that played different instruments. Prince wrote his own music.
You're going to Paisley
produced
Park.
his own music.
So that question is not who's the better musician. I know Prince can play bass better. He has better music. I'm hyping Michael Jackson. Meanwhile, I'll take Guns N' Roses and Runaway. Runaway. And I would put up Prince's best songs against Guns N' Roses' Fifth Tears.
Get in the ring?
My Michelle, Get in the Ring. It's strange, any of them. And
Rocket Queen.
Just read it. That album was written, you want to talk about a machine? Slash and Duff were living in a storage unit when they wrote that album. I follow Axl on Twitter to this day. This will shock you. He goes political. You wouldn't believe it, but he does.
Okay.
Guns N' Roses in a blowout.
Okay,
blowout.
That's fine. You want to go Guns N' Roses? What do you want to do? Get hyped up for a game and nod your head a little bit, or go to Makeout Mountain and have a French kiss session with your high school girlfriend?
And I'll play
That's
some
Guns N' Roses. You want to talk about Prince, who gives you some real feel-good music?
What do you got?
We're talking about Goosebumps. What do you mean?
Give it to us. Make the
Red
case.
Corvette. They got listen, his catalog is as strong as
What's he got? 4 good songs?
What are you talking? Do you remember when he did the halftime show?
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Sure.
He played the 4 good songs.
And he hit the Dearly Beloved. It started raining. Even God was crying because Prince was out
amazing.
there. Now listen. All right. Now side note. He had the pants with the booty cheeks out. I get that. That's I couldn't rock with that.
I'll take November Rain over Purple Rain right now. That's it.
Listen. The fact that Prince
Yes, I would.
get you in a
Yes, I would.
Yes, I think Kyle would. Every time Prince song comes on, you can feel it in your soul. It might make you feel a little sensitive and want to.
Hey, could the problem be that you don't know any Guns N' Roses songs?
No, I know Guns N' Roses songs.
Okay.
Guys, we got to wrap
That's my
it up.
wheelhouse.
I'm gonna go with this.
We got one sentence on
Prince
this.
is
We got to
the
go.
best.
What do you got?
When Appetite for Destruction first hit my
Go
ears,
on.
there was no other album in the history of the world that rocked me and punched me in the face like Guns N' Roses. For the win, Guns N' Roses!
What about Raspberry Beret, though? That thing cooks. Nah, I'm not into it.
Man,
It does.
Hey, but Kyle, you could party like 1999!
yeah, he wrote everything. Who's writing rock and roll songs?
Axl Rose, Duff, Izzy, all of them. Give me
All right.
Sorum.
Come on,
I'll take
Purple
Sorum. I'll take
Rain.
Steven Adler.
That's
What are you
Third on
talking about?
Thursday.
Y'all
Gotta love
tripping.
it. Let's bring in the rap sheet, Ian Rapoport. Ian, November Rain or
Shocker,
Purple
he's
Rain?
gonna go with Prince.
Well, I have seen Guns N' Roses in concert. I did break the phone out when they played Patience, November Rain, one of my favorite videos. I remember
Great
my guy
song.
Kurt Loder loving it up on MTV when I was growing up.
My guy.
However, I still listen to Prince to this day. My boys asked for 7. They love Purple Rain. The fact that I still listen to it right now gives me Prince. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I loved you.
When's the last time you listened to Patience?
Ian, your sons are young.
last
They get a
night
little
while
older, you play
cooking
some
dinner,
GNR
honestly,
Lies,
just
and they're going to love me, dude. Trust
I don't
me.
think so.
Trust me. It's not even.
I like
when
it.
your boys
All
get
right,
older,
all
you
right.
will GNR.
Ian, Jameis
All right, we'll do
Winston,
it.
let's get to
Saturday
him, though. Winston's back in the building with his team returning from that 3-game suspension. Any word on who the Bucs starter will be this Sunday? It's wild that we
Well,
don't know.
officially, Kay, there's no word, and Dirk Cutter's going to try to do some sort of Jedi mind trick and try to get the players to not say who the starter is, which I totally get. There's a competitive advantage thing here, I guess. But I talked to some people yesterday. What I was told was that Ryan Fitzpatrick got the majority of the snaps, and another person tell me that he got the snaps that a starter would normally take, which would not be a surprise because the plan all along was basically to let Fitzpatrick be the starter until he did something that would force the coaches to take him off the field, until he turned into the Ryan Fitzpatrick that he was after the season where the Jets won 10 games. He's done this at different points of his career. It's almost like the Bucs are kind of waiting for him to fail, but just hoping that it never happens.
Now listen, Earl Thomas missed practice yesterday for the Seahawks. Now, what's the latest with his situation in Seattle? Because there's a lot going on. Made some plays last week in the game. Seems like he's back, but his mind sometimes seems like it's somewhere else.
Yeah, clearly still one of the best players in football. 2 interceptions and bowed to the team that tried to trade for him. Was asked about this yesterday, said he met with Earl Thomas, comfortable with where they're at, but then Thomas did not practice for non-injury reasons. The same thing he did last Wednesday, same thing he did last Friday, and there is a possibility that it just goes along like this, with Thomas not being happy that he doesn't have a long-term deal, but playing, and the Seahawks not being thrilled that he's missing practice, but having him play. And if they can compromise on that, at the least, they got a player who's going to be great on Sundays.
Thanks so much, Rap Sheet. We'll talk to you throughout the day here on NFL Network, though I doubt anyone else will be asking you to compare Prince and Guns N' Roses. And that's why you love us. Rap Sheet. We'll talk to you in a little bit. We'll talk about the Patriots after this. Don't worry. We'll talk Brady and that offense. Julian Edelman on his way back. But can he turn things around this weekend at home facing the 3-0 Miami Dolphins? We'll break that one down. Plus, he helped the Eagles take home the Lombardi last year. But when will Alshon Jeffrey be back on the field for those Birds? We've got the latest updates on his status for Week 4. Not hating this Imagine Dragons.
No, we're all united on that one, baby.
Dragons is better than Guns N' Roses and Prince combined.
Talk about it.
I love it.
Beatles.
Dollars for my
Actually, I like the Beatles.
Rest in peace to your men.
Check out Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's for great